welcome to Beyond Your Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is Breaking Prisms for June 4th, where we go over the Twilight Zone and Black Mirror. Next week will officially be Black Mirror. I believe we're going to jump into Season 5 immediately, and then go back to Season 4, just because, why not? They don't connect anyway. Doesn't really matter. And go ahead and jump on that what's new and fresh and hot. That's right. That's right. Pretzels. But at the moment, we are going over the Twilight Zone. We've been going over the new season of Twilight Zone, 2019. And this is the final episode. This is episode 10, starring Zazie Beetz and Seth Rogen.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. Yeah.
We're going to very, very quickly go to non-spoilers for like 2 minutes, if. And then we're going to jump into spoilers because it's just going to have to be spoiler heavy.
Really? There's nothing we can tell you that's not a spoiler unless it's in the trailer.
Pretty much. Zazie Beetz. Crap.
Plays Sophie.
Yeah, plays Sophie. Being stalked by the Blurryman. That's about all we can tell you. That's really it. And Seth Rogen is in the show. That's about it. I got nothing more I can really tell you. And once you see the Blurryman, you can't unsee the Blurryman, as they state in the trailer. So, top level thoughts of what we actually thought about the episode without actually talking about it.
Why do I feel like that's all the problems in my life?
Really liked it. It was really, really well done. The acting was really cool. Jordan Peele, as always, does a really great job because I think he just does an awesome job, period. We've complimented him in every episode of this. It's always like, you know what? I don't care how bad the episode was. Jordan Peele, I like that guy. He's
Narration.
Cool. So, he's got that. That's great. Seth Rogen, for him not being in the episode a lot, because he isn't. He was fine. I can't say much about him. Zazie Beetz did a really good job. Zazie? I forget.
Zazie Beetz.
Zazie? Zazie? Zazie. No. So,
The Lion King.
She's good. Episode's got a great concept.
I really, really enjoyed the music choice for this one. As far as, like, when we first even opened up the episode, it was a very retro Twilight Zone kind of old style music, and then that progressed throughout.
And if any episode has ever felt like the Twilight Zone, this episode felt like the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Like really, really hardcore felt like the Twilight Zone. I don't know if you could get any more Twilight Zone in this episode, which is great.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, other than saying, I personally think you should definitely go watch this episode because I think it was really fantastic, really well done. Really the best episode we've had since the first episode, in my opinion. Because going back, I would totally give that first episode a 5.
So yes, we originally gave it a 4 out of 5.
We
because
did.
It
was the first episode. We hadn't got into what the episode show was going to be. Didn't want to just rate it a 5 immediately. And it's like, we'll give it a 4. Because we don't know how everything else is going to be. And then we went in and it's like, well.
Nothing got better?
Nothing really got better until we got here. This kind of, in my opinion, is really on par with that first episode. Mm-hmm. I really liked it. I mean, it may have drug a tiny bit. Maybe it was a little long. Maybe it could have been a little shorter. But I think that first episode was super strong. I really like the actors. I really like the acting. I really like the concept. And I really like what it did. And it really follows through straight with this one as well. Yeah. So in my opinion, this is on par with the very first episode, which I think were both really good. In some aspects, this has some cooler vibes in certain ways we'll get into in the spoiler section with the episode.
So what we're trying to say is going back and replaying level 1.
Don't say replay. Don't do it. Goodness. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Exploring level 1 once again and completing it, we no longer lost any companion cubes. So the first episode now has a 5 out of 5. And then going into this one, I believe we feel the same.
I would say so. So 5 companion cubes out of 5. We didn't lose any. They all made it. They didn't make one to burn our eyeballs out and burn the companion cubes with them. So we did really well this time. Now we're going to jump to spoilers because this episode is nothing but spoilers.
So go watch. Really, really go watch.
It's insane what the commercials did to not spoil what this episode is actually about. So super cool. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's worth watching. If you have seen it, well, here we are. Rod Sterling pops up at the end. So if you, Sterling. It's so hard. It's so hard. Rod Sterling pops up at the end because that was insane.
Just think Sterling.
I know. It's hard, though.
Sir. Yes, Sterling.
You know, I can barely get the intro right. You really expect me to get this man's name right.
This is true. I'm sorry.
So, we open up with the most we're going to see of Seth Rogen in the entire episode.
Yes, we open up on a guy sitting at his computer pretty much trying to type and write or he has written a story and he does not, he thinks it's garbage.
Yeah. This whole episode seems to be very self-aware of what the season has been and people's criticisms about the season. So we open with him, and he writes he has this inspirational, and he writes, a nuclear blast went off. Then his girl shows up, and then she's all worried and whatnot, and he looks out the window, and there's actually been a nuclear apocalypse thing going on. It's like, but it's just a story. And then we pan over, like always, to Jordan Peele, who gives our opening narration. And about 2/3 of the way through that opening narration, he just kind of gives up.
He's literally like... something about art and entertainment, and then he's like, you know what? No, I can't do this, guys.
And there's like cut and blah blah, and we pan over, and it's like, well, we're on set and we're filming the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Starring Seth Rogen.
Amazing, yes. So, yeah, Seth Rogen pretty much turns out to be just a very, very side character. Kind of a draw in. We
barely see him the rest of the episode. This was just so they could say they had Seth Rogen in the episode.
It was pretty much... I think maybe that was their way of putting the trailer out to where it's like, the only way we're going to hide this plot is if we bury it under a star. Let's bury it under Seth Rogen.
And they did. They really did, because... I did not expect anything out of this. So the episode is actually about Zazie Beetz, the writer of the Twilight Zone, and us following her entering an episode of the Twilight Zone.
Yes, Jordan Peele wants her to rewrite the narration. And she hasn't been sleeping, she hasn't been really eating well, she hasn't been doing anything except just focusing on the show.
Yes, severely focusing and talking about her love of the original show and the subtlety of the original show. And what can it just be more subtle? Which we've had lots of issues in this season about subtlety, that they don't seem to know what that means, and they openly narrate on that.
So it's like everything we've been thinking about this entire season, they literally put it into play in this episode.
It did. Which, as you've said, and as, of course, it does seem that way to some degree, it almost feels like they made the season intentionally with these super plot, or these super social commentary, knowing that this episode was going to come back and try to say, oh, we did that because we tended to kind of make it super heavy because... words, they're hard. They're real hard at the moment. It was intentional. We knew what we were going to get. We knew the slack we were going to get. And there are going to be episodes with some subtlety. And there's going to be the episode with really...
pretty much just pitting it up against each other, where it's like, in my opinion, as far as that goes, you have two decently strong episodes, though there were people who still hated them to death, saying that the plot was still too, social commentary, too political, it was horrible writing, la-da-da-da-da. You had that from the first two episodes, which I found actually really decent.
Yeah, if you remember, we really enjoyed the first two episodes, down to just saying a second ago we'd given the first one a 5.
And then they hit replay, which to some people it was a great episode, to other people it was a giant slap in the face. I mean... And then they did
We've
a
been-
more subtle one.
Well, we've been on the roller coaster since then.
And so it's like you throw some things out into the water, and it's like you see that no matter how you changed it, no matter how, okay, fine, that one was big banner. We're going to do this one a little bit more subtle. Oh, people still hate it because it's not the Twilight Zone. People still hate it because, they can see that social commentary. And it's like, what if they didn't really have a point to put social commentary in some of that? Like, A Traveler. That one was the one where at the end of it, you and I literally had to discuss and read reviews and stuff of what was the message for this one. And people still dug so deep and found something. So it's like they kept going back and forth with that, and then you finally have this episode where it's like, she's like, well, I just liked the original Twilight Zone. I liked how it felt. I liked how he brought issues into the thing, and I can't talk anymore.
Yeah, no, your voice is about dead. It's about gone. But this episode was so cool. And then she starts getting followed by the Blurryman, which is the name of the episode, Blurryman. As it's like it's his shadow. And then I haven't gone back, but I feel what I've heard is that the Blurryman has been in every episode.
That's what they made it seem like, but one of them was like super obvious to where you're like, I don't remember that one.
I need to go. Let me rephrase it. I don't want to go back and rewatch all of them. Some of them I wouldn't mind, but I need to see this Blurryman. But something else that made it seem like, I don't know.
I tried to Google it, but it never came up. I was like, is
new.
the Blurryman in every episode? Yeah, but as soon as this episode ended, you knew there was someone who went back and watched all of them, okay?
So if he's back there, that's really cool. It's a reason at least to go back and kind of at least look and check. So the Blurryman is following her, and it's this whole thing. It feels hoary and horrorish and
not hoary, okay?
Horror-ish.
Horrific.
Horrific.
It feels horrific.
There we go. Horrific is a better word.
It feels hoary. No, it doesn't. I don't know what he was watching, but it doesn't.
2 different episodes.
But yes, so it's like you get this kind of scary movie vibe. You have this thing lurking and following you no matter where you go. You have a place where it was super populated and now it's completely empty. You have someone who's thinking they're being pranked, and then it's like, no, clearly this isn't a prank. And then you have going up to people and not being seen. And it's just...
The Blurryman was following her everywhere she went. The Blurryman was following the writer. I wonder what he was trying to say. Well, it turns out by the end of the episode, the Blurryman is Rod Serling.
Yes.
He's been following her, which in a way is saying they are being haunted by the original show, because so many people love the original show.
Yes.
And great, I mean, it's really good. It's super good. We're going over that as well. If we can get past the new shows, we're going to get back to it. So that'll happen. But at the moment, we're in the new shows, and we're going to get back. We're going to go back over the old Twilight Zones, which are really good. They're really cool. They're really well done. They're short, which sometimes they're detriment. Detriment?
Yes.
Detriment, I think.
Detrimental.
It's a whole word. I don't know. Words are hard.
I don't know.
But they're really well, and it's haunted this season more than anything.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, a lot of these episodes, and this Twilight Zone doesn't even need the old Twilight Zone for people to compare it to. Yes, people are definitely comparing it to that because, well, Twilight Zone. People want it to be something like the original. And it kind of needs some kind of feel like the original. I mean, if you're calling it the Twilight Zone, it needs to feel like the Twilight Zone. It doesn't need to feel like a different show. If you want to make a different show, make that show. But that other show is Black Mirror. And Black Mirror, in my opinion, is super, super well done. No, we don't have a lot to compare it to other than other seasons. But I think, for the most part, they've almost gotten better and better. The first season was really good. The second season was really good. The third season, I thought, was great. Might be the best season they did. The fourth season is good, but they started taking some of the criticism and actually implementing it into the show, which I don't know if is a great thing or not. And then I'm super interested about the fifth season.
But as far as this episode goes, CBS has granted a second season, and I think maybe a reason why they're like, okay, we're going to take this on again is because this season was one giant story in itself. And the second season is going to be when they're like, dude, this is how the new era, the Twilight Zone is. You can see that we know how to do it.
But they cannot do to the second season what they did to the first.
No.
If any of the episodes are like this first season, it's really going to drive people away.
Yeah.
I mean, this first season already, the final tries to make up some kind of ground. It tries to resolve some things. It tries to kind of prove a point that, like you're saying, that this season has been one giant episode about a particular point they're trying to kind of prove in a way. You can't do that again.
No. And I don't think they're going to.
I hope not. We liked some of these episodes really well. I thought some of them were really great, especially the first one and this one. And next season every episode needs to be like this. It can't be sporadic. Yes, you can have an episode that's not as good.
Well, yeah, you even have that in Black Mirror.
Yes, there are still episodes that aren't fantastic. But for the most part, Black Mirror is really well done. And that's what this needs to be.
I think it has the potential to as well.
I agree. I think it has that potential. I hope they live up to it. I want them to live up to it.
So overall, wow.
It isn't there. It's gone.
Sorry. Overall, 5 out of 5.
What did you do at work today? This is whoo.
I was screaming at people. Okay.
I mean, I didn't hear you screaming, but silence. Right?
Yeah. I was yelling at customers.
So overall, we both really enjoyed it. It was really well done. Oh, you also didn't mention that the whole episode went black and white, which was really cool.
Black and white had the original Twilight Zone kind of music in the background going on.
We got CG Rod Serling.
Yeah, we got scenes from...
Time Enough at Last?
Yes. I said it throughout the entire
you did,
episode.
and then you forgot it right now.
And now I forgot it.
So, the end of the episode was phenomenal. And I think the beginning was phenomenal how they transitioned. If there's a weak point in the show, I think it kind of is the middle.
But I think that was just the suspense buildup.
Yes, it was suspense.
Is this good? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Like, is she facing something? Is she facing herself? Or is she supposed to just accept something about her life? We don't know. And then it hits the end and you're like, got it.
As I said at the beginning, Jordan Peele was great, I thought, in this episode. Yes. We heard one person say they very much not like Jordan Peele not being the commentator. He is, but he isn't. He breaks that wall, and he's not the commentator
Technically,
anymore.
He did narrate the episode.
He did.
Just did it in a Jordan Peele instead of a Rod Serling.
Yes. He narrates the beginning, and there's different points where he brings up narration again in different ways. And he does narrate it, and he's really odd and cool.
I just flat out meant the cue cards. He did read the
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He did do that in other aspects of it. He kept mentioning certain things.
Yeah.
And then his weird obsession with popcorn in the episode. Okay, that's different. But he was great. I like him a lot. I like what he's doing for the most part. Like I said, there's some episodes. Oof. Anyway.
We'll see.
Second season, be good. That's all I want. I want you to be good. Like, really good. Not...
We got it. We understood the message, okay?
We did. We get it. We understand it. Please. You have to move on. If you don't move on, you will kill the Twilight Zone.
Rod Serling would be disappointed.
But I think we're good. We really enjoyed it. As we said, 5 out of 5 companion cubes. No companion cubes lost in this episode this time. Oof. If you had to throw a number on how you think the season was.
We're not going there. Do the outro.
What do you think a good average is?
I don't have the voice for that. We're doing the outro.
I would say a solid 3, which is sad. For how much I like some of the episodes. Personally. I don't know. We don't know. Outro time?
Yes.
Okay, outro time. Yeah! Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, you can reach me at Stars and Travel to reach a man at... Oh, God. Oh, I'm dying. Okay.
I didn't do it, so...
Reach a man at KZ Pup. Reach the show at Beyond Our Focus. on... Whew, it's getting me. Something's in my throat. I'm done. You get a water. I don't have a water. Where's my water? Ugh.
Just squeak through it.
Reach the show at Beyond Our Focus, everywhere, including YouTube and podcast services around the globe.
Maybe.
Throw a like on the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel because we really, really appreciate that. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the episode. If it's just us, we've been a little bit more optimistic than a lot of people on this season. Not on every episode, but for the most part, we've been pretty optimistic, I think. But any final thoughts with your no voice?
Look out for Black Mirror next week.
Yeah, next week it will be episode 1 of the 5th season of Black Mirror that technically starts tomorrow. So
we'll get there.
And I might watch all 3 episodes and then rewatch them.
It's only 3, right?
Yeah, it's only 3, and then rewatch them again to review them.
When we just review all 3.
Yeah, I don't think we can do that. It'll be 3 weeks of whatever it's going to be. I think it'd be best.
Okay. Till next time.
Don't take my lines!
Well, you looked like you weren't doing anything.
Till next time! Long days, pleasant nights.